everything you see from MTV and the death culture and the gangbanger culture and the cop killer George Soros culture and the Hollywood anti-family, anti-Christ system is a function of the mode and the psychology and the worldview and the plan of the large tax-free foundations that Congress has even had hearings on, whose plan is to overturn not just civilization, but human operations as they biologically exist in what is called the final revolution, or the end of history. And a lot of it is 170 years old. Much of it's from the 1850s. And the whole plan, you could say, is divinely inspired, but not with a big D. The little d for Diablo.
Welcome to the Alex Jones Show. Huge news to cover today. Huge breaking reports from Alex Jones. A ton of video clips, including all of the Trump derangement that we saw at the Emmys last night. Or actually, I guess that we didn't see because nobody watched it. And the only reason anybody's talking about it is because of how pathetic they are. Alex has some news with a CIA whistleblower. You're going to get that report from Alex Jones. We're going to have all of the Emmys debacle that was last night. We've got more on the Trump-Russia probe. Trump lawyers debating what to do. Meanwhile, more Clinton-Obama lawyers are going into that probe. You've got schools now wanting to change their names because they're named after Jefferson and Madison. Now they want to change their names. Yale is swapping out freshmen and upperclassmen with gender-neutral terms. What the heck is going on this planet? 80 arrests as riots grip St. Louis for third day after ex-cop's acquittal in fatal shooting. There's a reason why we keep seeing this. A lot of it has to do with television pundits or personalities on CNN. We'll have those clips as well. But first, let's go to Alex Jones, who has filed a special report. He's going to have more reports throughout the day today, including one on a CIA whistleblower. But first, here is Alex Jones.
The social engineers want you blinded by the background noise. It's time to turn it off. Time to focus intellectually, politically, spiritually on the real architecture of this new world order. It's time to read the seminal publications and declassifications of the technocrats' program. It's time to realize that InfoWars is not Alex Jones's opinion, but is simply an analysis of what the planetary shadow government is establishing and how that planetary system is absorbing not just human society, but the biospheres of the globe and this ecosystem that is Spaceship Earth. Coming up today, Owen Schroyer is going to be hosting with a bunch of important guests and news. He's going to cover the culture wars and how those are accelerating. But the backdrop, the most important point to understand from my perspective, is that everything you see from MTV and the death culture and the gangbanger culture and the cop killer George Soros culture and the Hollywood anti-family, anti-Christ system is a function of the mode and the psychology and the worldview and the plan of the large tax-free foundations that Congress has even had hearings on, whose plan is to overturn not just civilization, but human operations as they biologically exist in what is called the final revolution, or the end of history. Anyone listening can just write down these terms I'm giving you, type them into a search engine, and go down the rabbit hole, not of something I said or something Ron Paul said or something like Matt Drudge said or Nigel Farage said or Donald Trump, but what the globalists themselves have been saying, and a lot of it is 170 years old. Much of it's from the 1850s. And the whole plan, you could say, is divinely inspired, but not with a big D. The little d for Diablo. Ladies and gentlemen, This is a great experiment we're all part of. It's an amazing time to be alive. We see the ongoing insanity in St. Louis as total racial division is hyped by the corporate media. We see in Dallas, Texas, no wonder the Democrats think they can make the state go blue. We see Dallas, Texas, a Democrat stronghold now, preparing to remove Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington. They're not going to stop until they remove the name of the country, the flag, the whole system, because it's not about stopping any wrongs. It's about exercising power and using the true openness of the West, our strength, as a weakness against us. That's why we must focus and stoically stand against the social engineering and not give in to virtue signaling or political correctness, even though we want to let people know who are attacking us that we don't hate them because of what color they are. When we give in to all the virtue signaling and say, now I'm not racist, but I understand, and let's be friends, and let's work this out, and let me compromise with you, you're only giving in to the psychological warfare template where by increments we always compromise and the establishment never does. And then the throngs of people we're trying to satisfy and trying to work with and trying to live next to and trying to get along with, they get even more enslaved than ever. We're all being used as pawns in this, and it's time to realize the game and to transcend it. There's so much other news coming up today. The latest ridiculous award show with a bunch of out-of-touch Hollywood scum giving each other awards. And, of course, it had record low ratings. The good news is humanity across the globe is breaking with the globalists. In fact, when I talk to people who live in third world nations, they're a lot more awake on average than the average American because they've actually seen the scams. They've been through the frauds. Just like people that grew up in Eastern Europe under communism, they see almost to a person right through all this because they've heard it all before. They've seen the lies. They've been through the process. And revelation is the best way to learn things, where you just divinely understand something innately, whether it's from God or instinct. And then, of course, you can learn by experience, sticking your hand down the garbage disposal and turning it on. Or you can learn by being taught. You can learn by people that have been through it before. And that's really the best way to learn, because you can experience it and see it right there for yourself, and others who've experienced it can see it for themselves, and there's not any denial about what we're facing. The average people that have bought into this system of political correctness and control do it because they feel powerless. And they feel like if they learn this new language of having a chip on your shoulder, that somehow they'll get ahead when they haven't gotten ahead before. And I call it the lottery mentality. And I'm not bashing anybody that's gone out and bought a lottery ticket to have fun, watch the show and have some excitement and be part of something. But it's designed to screw you over. It's a tax on the poor. And the very same people that vote Democrat and the very same people that buy into political correctness are the very same type of people, whether they be black or white, Hispanic, old, young, that believe that they're going to be okay because the next lottery ticket's going to be their big one and they're going to have $100 million. They've been scammed. And what's frustrating is it's in the WikiLeaks, it's in the Facebook documents, it's in all the documents that the social engineers are totally ruthless and are doing all these horrible things worldwide and really hate humanity, but they manipulate folks that want a free ride. The Republican Party establishment's our enemy. The Democratic Party establishment's our enemy. And we've moved so far that people like Donald Trump have arrived on the scene as a manifestation, as a surfer riding the great wave of awakening. But that doesn't mean we rise or fall with Donald Trump. We rise and fall on you. What's in your heart, what's in your mind, seeing through the deception, understanding the great historical moment we're all in. Now I'm going to hand this back over to Owen Schroyer. Over the weekend, Zero Hedge published a big article. We republished it on Infowars.com with a high-level CIA whistleblower, friends with William Binney. His bona fides are, the best out there, exposing how shadow government controls the deep state and what they're trying to establish. But then I get into the rest of the story towards the end of the breakdown about what their end game is. That's coming up at the bottom of the hour. It's very, very important. I shot it yesterday. We're going to premiere it here, and then it's going to be posted to Infowars.com and Newswars.com. And I'm going to get this gentleman on Mr. Shipp in the very, very near future. We're going to get Mr. Benny back on as well, former technical director of the NSA. But this just confirms the exact architecture that I've already laid out. Not again because I figured it out myself, but because of the church hearings and the Iran-Contra hearings and others, we get a very good snapshot of how this operates. Plus, we can see it manifested at point-blank range. But remember, most of the people in the deep state are controlled as well and are compartmentalized and are actually good people. It's the shadow government that's key. And it was threatened by Trump and the people's attempt to actually take control of our government again. That's why they're so angry and trying to isolate Trump and so upset that people were able to talk to him, that the public could influence him, because they believe it's their right. They believe they are the global republic and that they own the government and they own the system. But in truth, they're the very people that have been selling out the country and selling out the republic, not just from their own documents that prove it, but from their actions through the popular culture. And there's now a rebellion within the deep state and the shadow government to stop having culture tools like Hollywood be weapons to absolutely destroy civilization in an attempt to conquer it while spoiling the very engine of the elite's power itself. Now back to Owen Schroyer from the front lines of the info war. Remember, you are the power of the info war. And when you share videos, when you share articles, when you financially support us, when you pray for us, when you speak out, when you take action, when you shoot video reports on the street yourself, it has a huge effect. So all of you are citizen reporters in this information war, and they can't censor us all, and they can't stop us all. The fight has been joined. We're over the target. And all of you are not essential. You are absolutely critical and beyond essential. Without you, there is nothing. Without you, the most awake group of people on the planet, highly motivated, focused individuals that understand the game, we don't have a hope. But because of you, we've got way more than a hope. We've got a promise from God that we can win if we simply take action and do the right thing and trust in him. Infowars.com. Now back to Owen Schroyer.
And how did most of us end up here at Infowars.com/show? Because we realized that MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBS, all these people, Hollywood, are all fake news. They're all liars, and they do nothing to better this country. That's why we're here. We'll have all the news on the other side, including more from Alex Jones. Don't go anywhere. This is The Alex Jones Show.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.